Learn how to build an online store in WordPress in just 44 minutes. Follow along step by step, and by the end you will have an online store where you can start making sales right away. To build a website in WordPress, you need web hosting. Web hosting is a service that stores your website and makes it accessible on the internet. To try web hosting out for completely free and build a website, go to builderwebs.com/Cloudways. There's a link to it in the description. And then you'll land on this page and click on Start Free and sign up to Cloudways. Again, it's completely free. Once you've signed up to Cloudways, it's now time to create the website. So choose WordPress here and then give the application a name, so the name of your website. I'm just going to apply the same across, but you can give the server a name and you can give the project a name. Then it's time to choose a server. You can pick from various options. I'm going to choose DigitalOcean, and then I'm just going to choose the basic option, which is $11 per month. That'll do everything you need when you're starting off, but you can always scale up as time goes on. That's the beauty of using Cloudways. I'm going to choose a location. I'm currently recording this in the UK, so I'm going to choose London, but you can choose where is closest to you. And then all you do is click on launch. It will take 7 minutes to create the server and the website in the applications folder. Feel free to pause the video until you get to this point. When creating a website in WordPress, you'll need a domain name. You can find domain names by going to this website. A domain name helps find a particular website. So say, for example, this one up at the top here, cloudflare.com, you can type it in like you do on other websites and it takes you to it. I like using this website because they give you at cost price. They don't charge any other fees. You can search for the domain by clicking on search domains, and then you can basically type whatever you want in here. I've previously bought buildertutorial.com, but say, for example, whatever you wanted to call your domain name, your website, you could basically choose to confirm on it like this, sign up and pay for the domain name. We're now going to connect the hosting to the domain name. So to do that, go into Cloudflare, where we created a domain name earlier on. So you can go to the home page, then domains, and you'll find the domain. Against the domain, click these 3 dots, then click on Configure DNS, then click Add Record here, choose Type A, add in the @sign, and then in this box, we're going to go to Cloudways. We're going to go to this servers page by going to the side and clicking My Servers. Under Servers, we're going to click on the server and we're going to copy this public IP address. We're going to go back into Cloudflare and we're going to paste it in. We're going to untick this proxy status. Then we're going to click Save. We're going to add another record in. Make sure it's Type A. Type in www, and then we're going to paste the public IP address that we copied from Cloudways, and we're going to paste it in here. Untick the proxy status and click Save, and this is this part done. You can then go to whatsmydns.net. There's a link to this in the description, and then paste the domain name that you created in Cloudflare, and then you can basically see if it's available across the world by clicking search. As you can see, it's available in most places. We'll then add it into Cloudways. It's now time to add the domain name into Cloudways. So go to the side, choose My Servers, and then against the Applications tab, you can click on it, and then you can click on Domain Management at the side, and you can click Add Domain. You can then paste the domain in, and you can choose to add the other domain, the www, that we basically added in before, as you can see, that one. And then you can choose to click Save Changes, and it'll add these into Cloudways. And once the domains are added, you'll see it look like this. If you haven't bought a domain in this tutorial and you don't have a domain, you can continue using this domain here. But if you've bought a domain, you'll probably want to set the domain to be a primary one. So say for example you haven't bought a domain, you can navigate to the website and you'll see that the domain name is basically that. If I close it down and we go back to domain management, we can choose to set one of these that we've created as the primary domain. So I'll choose this one, click on it and click make primary, and then just choose set as primary. And that's the domain set as the primary domain. If we go back onto the access details, you'll see it's changed to buildertutorial.com or whatever it's changed on your side, and you can navigate to it. And next we'll add an SSL certificate, so you'll get a message like this, but say for example you go to it, you'll see that there's the domain name set. In order to not see something like this where it says not secure against the domain, you need to install an SSL certificate. An SSL certificate is a digital file that encrypts data between a browser and a website server. To do that, you can go into Cloudways and you can go to the application and click on it, and then you can go to SSL certificate and you can choose to add a certificate. So you can leave this as let's encrypt. You can add an email address and you can add a domain name. We'll add this domain and we'll add another. So we'll add the other one, www. So make sure to add the one that you've created, not this one on screen, and then click on install certificate. Once the SSL certificate's installed, it'll look something like this. And then you can go to the access details on the application and you can navigate to the website and you'll see that the not secure message goes away, and that's SSL installed. To log into WordPress using Cloudways, make sure that you're logged into Cloudways and go to this application section and click on the application. Then under access details, go to this section admin panel and copy the username. Then click on this link here and then paste in the username and go back to Cloudways and copy the password by clicking to copy, and then paste the password in and log in, and you're successfully in WordPress. We're now going to install and activate a theme. A theme is a collection of files that define the design, layout and functionality of a WordPress website. So to install a theme, go to Appearance on the side when you've logged into WordPress and then click on Themes. Then click on Add New Theme, and then here just search for Kadence and we're going to install the Kadence theme. Hover over it and click on Install, and then choose Activate, and the theme will be live on the website. To see what the theme looks like after you've installed it, go up to the top of the page and just click on this Home button. And as you can see, it looks very basic, but we can improve this, and we'll do this in the tutorial, and I'll show you how you can make it look a lot better. Just click on this W in the top to go back into WordPress. It's now time to install and activate a plugin. A WordPress plugin is software that adds functionality to a website. Plugins are like apps that you can download and install to customize your website. So to install a plugin, make sure you're logged into WordPress and click on Plugins, then click on Add New Plugin at the top, then search for WooCommerce, and then install and activate this plugin by clicking Install Now, and then choosing to activate. We'll now cover some of the basic WordPress settings. To do that, make sure you're logged into WordPress and then go down to the side and click on Settings, then General. You can add a title for the website, for example here, Online Store. You can add a tagline, a slogan, we'll just leave that blank for now. And then you can change other settings in here. So for example, the site language, the time zone by changing different settings. And then as we go through the tutorial, we'll cover other settings, like different options here. And then when you're ready, click Save Changes and the settings will be changed on the website. We'll now take a look at the WooCommerce settings. Earlier on in the tutorial, we installed the plugin WooCommerce, which adds an online store to your WordPress website. So to go to the settings, make sure you're logged into WordPress and you have WooCommerce installed. Go to WooCommerce on the side and then click on Settings. Here you can add things like your physical address of the store. You can choose which countries you sell to. So I'm going to choose, for example, sell to specific countries, but you could say you're going to sell to all countries or sell to all countries except for ... I'm going to choose sell to specific, and then I can put, for example, I sell to the United States. You can choose the shipping locations you sell to. So here, ship to all countries you sell to makes sense for me here, but you can pick different options. You can also enable taxes and calculations. I'll show that later on in the tutorial. You can enable coupons, and below you've got an option to change the currency of the store. So it's currently in dollars, but you could change it to something else. When you're happy with your changes, click Save Changes and they'll be live on the store. You've also got a Products tab where you can choose which page the shop will be on. You can change that by using the drop down and changing it to a different page. And you can also do many other things, but one thing you can do is change the measurements of the store. So for example, you could have the weight unit in pounds, or you could change it in kilograms, or however you want. And the same with dimensions you can change. When you're happy, you can click Save Changes. We'll cover shipping, taxes, payments, emails in this tutorial. One tab we'll do first though is site visibility. You've got the option to leave it like this, that the site's coming soon. And when you want to take your site live, you can just click on live, click Save Changes, and the banner of the coming soon basically doesn't appear for customers. So that's those main settings. Like I say, we'll cover more as we move through the tutorial. To create a simple product in WooCommerce, which is a single item just like this one, without any variations, please follow along. To create a simple product, make sure you're logged into WordPress and make sure you have WooCommerce installed. And then hover over the Products tab and click on Add New Product. Give the product a name, give the product a description. This is a longer description. And then at the bottom, give the product a shorter description. You can see that I've given the product a name. I've added a product description, which is the longer description. And also I've added the product short description. If you go to the top and you click on Save Draft, and then you can choose to preview the product. As you can see, there's the product name, there's the product short description, and then there's the product description, which when you go back into WordPress was here. We'll now scroll down and we'll go to this product data section. You can choose which product you want to create by using this drop down. So we're creating a simple product, but you could, for example, create a variable product. You can add a price, so we'll just add a price in here. You could add a sales price if you wanted. You can go to the inventory tab and you can choose whether the product's in stock, out of stock. You can set that. You can also go to shipping and you can add the weight, for example, dimensions. You can also add a product image by going up to the top here and clicking Set Product Image. You can choose to upload it by clicking Upload Files and then choose the image. This image is available to download in the description by clicking on the link. Once you've selected the image that you want, you can click on Set Product Image, and as you can see, it appears there. It's also possible to add in product categories. Product categories help group products into broad sections, making it easier for customers to browse the website and find particular products. So you can click on this section here, Add New Category, and you could, for example, add a category in of bags and set it as the parent category, and then click on Add New Category. And then because this product's a backpack and it's included in, let's say, the bag section, you could create a subcategory of backpacks and choose to be in the bag section. And as you can see there, it creates a subcategory of the bags. The uncategorized is if you haven't given the product any categories, so we'll just untick that. We'll scroll down to product tags. So it's possible to add product tags in, which are flexible labels that help customers find similar items based on shared features. So for example, this is a yellow bag, so you might want to add yellowing and then click add. You could also say it's made of canvas and then choose to add. And then when you're ready to take the product live, you can choose to publish it by clicking publish up at the top here. And then you can click on view product, and here's the product with the product name, the price, the product short description, the description. And one thing that you'll find interesting is you can see the product categories here. So part of the section bags, you could click on it, for example, and it'll show you all the bags under that section. Or for example, you could click backpacks and it'll show you all the backpacks under there. If we just click on the W, it'll return us back into WordPress. To create a variable product, follow this along. A variable product in WooCommerce lets you offer a set of different options on a product with control over prices, stock, images, and much more. So for example, you can flick between different coloured t-shirts, you can change the sizes. To create a variable product in WooCommerce, the first thing you want to do is make sure you're logged into WordPress, and also make sure you have WooCommerce installed. And then on the side, go to products and then click on add new product. Give the product a name, give the product a product description. The product description is a longer description, and down at the bottom, give the product a short description. Once you've given the product a name and you've given a product description and a product short description, you can click on save draft to save your changes, and then up at the top you can click on preview product, and as you can see, there's the product name, there's the product short description, and there's the product description there. We can then return back into WordPress by going to the other tab, and then if you scroll down you can start to add the product data in. So if you want to create a simple product, you can choose that, but we're going to create a variable product, so we'll choose variable product here. On this inventory tab, you can choose to enable stock management if you want and have a play about with the different settings. You can go to the shipping tab and you can add the product weight, dimensions. Go to the attributes tab and you can start to add different attributes in. So say for example, this t-shirt that we're selling here comes in grey and white, so we can start to add the different options in. So you can do that by clicking add new here, and this option becomes available. So we're just going to add an option to put colour in, and then you can add the colour of the different t-shirts in here. So I'm just going to put grey and white, and you can separate them with the pipe, and then you can save the attributes, and then you can add another attribute by clicking add new, and then you can give it a name. So we're just going to put the sizes in, and we're going to put small, medium and large in, and click on save attributes. You can then go to the variations tab and you can choose to generate variations automatically, or you can add them in manually. Once I click generate variations and choose OK, you'll see it's given all the different options based on the attributes that we added above for colour and sizes. And then by clicking in the edit option here, you can go into each one and you can add an option. So if we click on, for example, this upload an image here, we can choose to upload a file, and we'll choose the grey t-shirt and add it in, and then click set variation image, and then you can choose to add a price in. So we'll add a price in of $20. You could also add a sales price if you want. You can choose whether it's in stock, out of stock, and you can put a specific weight in. You can also add the different dimensions, and the same process follows for going through. So off camera, I'll basically go in and I'll add the different images. You do that too, so it's just following the process that we did here. Off camera, I've added in all the different product images. If you're looking for these, they're in the description, so you can add them in yourself. Before you make any changes, just click Save Changes here. And another thing you can do is use the bulk action. So say for example you want to change the price and it's the same price across all the t-shirts. You can choose set regular prices here, and I'll just enter 20 and it basically fires the value into all the different variations instead of having to go into each one and basically alter them. So as you can see, when you go in, you'll see the regular price is there, and you can use those actions for all types of things. If you want to show default values for these values, so say for example you wanted to show grey t-shirt and large to be the default values when the product's shown, you can do that, and you can click Save Changes. Another thing you can do is set a product image. So we'll just choose this grey one here that we've uploaded previously. There's a link to it in the description. And then in the product gallery, for example, you can add this white one. Again, there's a link to that in the description. You can also add product categories. Product categories help group products into broad sections, making it easier for customers to browse. You can create main categories and subcategories for better organization. So what you can do is you can click on Add New Category here, and you can put T-shirts, and you can choose Parent Category there and click Add New Category, and then you can add another category in, and you could put, for example, Short Sleeve T-shirts, and then you can choose T-shirts as the parent category. So if you choose Add New Category, you'll see under T-shirt there's a subcategory of short sleeve. You can also add in product tags. Product tags are flexible labels that describe products without a fixed structure. They help customers find similar items based on shared features. So if you wanted, you could say one of the t-shirts is grey, so you could add in grey as a product tag. You could also say they're made out of cotton and add that in as a tag, and it'll help customers find these products. Once you're happy with what you've put together, you can choose to publish the product by going up to the top and choosing publish. Here you can click on view product, and you can view the product in the store. So as you can see, as you choose a grey one or a white one, the picture changes, but you can also change between the different sizes. And we've got our product name, our price, our short description, our colour and sizes, our categories, our tags, and you've got the product description right there. Finally, click on the W to return back into WordPress. To add shipping in WooCommerce, please do the following. Make sure that you're logged in and that you've got WooCommerce installed, and then go to WooCommerce on the side and click on Settings, then click on the Shipping tab at the top, and the first thing you're going to do is add a shipping zone in. A shipping zone is a geographic region where a certain set of shipping methods and rates apply. So for example, you could have a shipping zone for the US and a shipping zone for Europe, or a shipping zone for Canada. So we'll click up at the top, Add Zone, and we'll give the zone a name. So we'll call this All US States. And underneath, you could, for example, choose all in North America, but we're just going to choose the US. But you could just choose a particular state if you wanted, or you could limit this particular shipping zone to a zip code. We'll click Save Changes once we've got this information added in. And then you can add shipping methods in. Shipping methods are the shipping options that customers will see on the checkout page. Click on Add Shipping Method to add a shipping method, and we're going to choose flat rate. You can just keep the name as it is, or you can change the name to how you want it in here. You can choose whether it's taxable or not. You can add a cost in, so you could say shipping was $10, or you could put a formula in like this that takes 10% of the cart total and adds it on. Then click on Create and Save. You can choose to add other shipping methods in quite easily, just like free shipping or local pickup. We won't cover that in this tutorial, but it's easy enough to do. And here's a working example of a product on the store where it's $30 and it's added the shipping on at 10% to make $33. To enable taxes in WooCommerce and start charging customers taxes, do the following. Make sure you're logged into WordPress and make sure you have WooCommerce installed. Click on WooCommerce and then click on Settings. Under the General tab, scroll down and choose this option, Enable Tax Rates and Calculations, and then click Save Changes. You'll then see that the Tax tab becomes available. Click on it. We'll then cover these tax options here. So you have the option to enter prices with tax or without. We're just going to choose no, but you could choose to enter prices inclusive of tax. You've also got the option to calculate tax based on different options there. You choose what's best for you. You've also got shipping tax class options. So you could have shipping tax class based on cart items, or you could choose one of these for all shipping. You can add additional tax classes, which we'll cover up here. You can also display prices in the shop excluding tax or including, and you can do the same for the cart and the checkout. When you're happy, click Save Changes and the changes will be live on the website. Up at the top, you've got different options, standard rates, reduced rates, zero rates, and these are tax classes. Standard rates are the default tax rates that would be used. So if you don't select any options against the product, it'll pick up these standard rates. Reduced rates can be stuff like baby's clothes, and it's just a reduced rate of tax. And zero rates can be stuff like medicine, where there's a 0% tax on it. It's possible to assign these different tax rates, tax classes, to particular products. So you can go to products, and then under product data on the general tab, you can basically choose the tax class. You could flick between those different options and apply different tax classes to the products. We'll now click on the standard rates tab and we'll start adding in some tax rates. So to start adding in tax rates, click on Insert Row and you can enter a country code. You can also click on that list to find a country code. So I'm just going to type in US for the United States. And I'm going to add a 6% sales tax in. I'm going to call it all other states sales tax. We're going to give it a priority of 1. I'll explain priorities as we work through the examples, and I'm going to click Save Changes. I'll head over to the cart and I'll refresh. And as you can see, there's the sales tax is applied there. If I go back into WooCommerce and I choose to insert another row, I'll choose to add a country code in this row of the US again. Against the state, I'll add it in for California and I'll apply a 7% sales tax rate. I'll give it a tax name. So it'll be CA sales tax. We'll leave the priority as 1. You can choose to charge taxes on shipping or not by having it ticked or unticked, and then I'll click on Save Changes and I'll go to the cart, and what I'll do is I'll change the state from Arizona and I'll put it to California. I'll click on Check Delivery, and as you can see it went from $198 and applies the CA sales tax of $231. If we go back into the store, we'll choose to insert another row. Again, we'll do it for the US, we'll do it for California, and we'll add a zip code in of 90210. And we'll just add an asterisk so it does the rest of the zip code on there. And we'll add a percentage of 2% and we'll just call it Beverly Hills sales tax. And on here, we'll give it a priority of 2 and we'll click Save Changes. And we'll show this example in the cart. So if I just refresh the screen, you'll see that it applies a California sales tax of $231, and then it does a Beverly Hills sales tax as well. So as you can see, the priority that we picked for California first, and then doing the Beverly Hills sales tax after, it does it in order of priority from 1 on California there to 2 against Beverly Hills. One other thing you can do is you can compound the tax if that's a requirement that you need. So against the relevant tax rate, you could choose, for example, to choose compound here and click Save Changes. And then when you go to the cart and you refresh, you should see that the Beverly Hills rate becomes higher because the CA tax is applied first on the car and then the BH sales tax is applied on top of that. So if I just refresh, as you can see, it goes up. But if you don't need to compound taxes, you can turn it off like that and click Save Changes. To start taking card payments in WooCommerce, do the following. Make sure you're logged into WordPress and make sure WooCommerce is installed. Then on the side, click on Plugins, then choose Add New Plugin. and then just search for Stripe, and then click on install on this plugin here, and then choose to activate. Then on the side, go to WooCommerce, click on settings, then click on payments, and you should see that you have this option here, Stripe. Click on complete setup, and then click on create or connect an account here. Put an email address in to sign up, or if you already have an email address, use it to sign in and it'll connect to WooCommerce. Once you've connected to Stripe, you should see that, for example, payments enabled here. If, for example, payouts disabled like it is here, you just need to add some more information in Stripe. So you can go into Stripe by going to stripe.com, and you can basically log in and go to this dashboard, and you can enter more information in here, and you can also organize to be paid out to your bank account and all sorts of other things in here. If we go back into WordPress and we click on configure connection, and then we click on test, we'll set up a test connection so you can take test payments on the store and try things out. So we'll click on here at the bottom, create or connect a test account. I'll choose to connect to here, and one thing it does is it connects the test account so you can start taking test payments. And another thing it's done is it's ticked test mode here, and when test mode's ticked here, you'll only take test payments on your website. So when you want to start taking live payments, you'll want to untick this box. But when you've done all your changes, click save. And one thing to note is you can change other settings below of how things will appear on a bank statement and other settings. Here I'll show you an example of where you can test out payment. So test mode's enabled, you can see because it says it here, and you can copy this card number and you can paste it in here. And then when you're ready to buy the product, you can place the order, and you can see you get a confirmation there. To send emails from WordPress, do the following. Make sure you're logged into WordPress, and then click on plugins, then click on add new plugin, and then just search for WP Mail, and this plugin will appear. Click on install now, and then choose to activate. Then click on let's get started here. Choose a recommended sender, so I'm going to use Bravo here, so choose Bravo, and then choose save and continue. Now it's time to set up with Bravo. You can do that by clicking on this link here, and then when we've signed up, we'll enter the API key. So click on this option here, click on sign up for free, and then once you're signed up, we'll go back into WordPress and we'll click on this option under the API key, and we'll choose to create a new API key. We'll give it a name, and we'll choose to generate. We'll copy the API key, we'll go back into WordPress, and we'll paste it in here. We'll add a sending domain, so we'll take buildertutorial.com, but whatever it is on your side, and we'll paste it in here. You can choose where the emails are coming from, so mine's called online store. You add in whatever you need, and you can choose where the emails are coming from, as in the email. I'm just going to leave it like this, but you put the email that you want, then click on save and continue, and then save and continue again. Skip this step, and then you can finish up. I'm going to choose finish setup, and that's it set up, and you can try sending out emails. When sending emails out from WooCommerce, you want to check a setting. So make sure you're inside of WordPress, and then make sure you have WooCommerce installed. Click on WooCommerce, and then choose settings. Then click on emails, and then under new order, cancel order, and failed order, you'll want the recipient of the email address of the person who'll be running the store or be receiving new order or cancellations. So I'm just going to leave it like this, but you can add that in by clicking manage. So when buying a product in WooCommerce, you'll go to the checkout, you'll put an email address in, and we'll want to receive a confirmation to this email address, and we'll also want to receive an email to the store to show that there's been a new order. So when I put all the details in and I choose to place the order, I should receive a confirmation email. If I go to the email, so for example, if I go to the store email, I should have an email to say there's been a new order, as you can see there. But also the customer should have received an email, which you can see here, to show what they've ordered. It's possible to customize a website in WordPress by doing the following. Make sure you're logged into WordPress and make sure you're using a theme like we installed earlier, like the Kadence theme. Then go to Appearance on the side and then click on Customize. Down the left hand side you'll see all the different options that we're going to change. Click on Colors and Fonts, then click on Colors. In Kadence you're able to pick from these different palettes where you can choose different colors and it'll change the colors of the website as you go through. You can of course change the colors on here by picking a color. There's more information by clicking on this link here. You can also change the colors of different parts of the website. If you click on this option to go back and you choose buttons, you can also change colors and different things in there. You've also got typography where you can change the color of a font. You can change the actual font by clicking and choosing one. You can choose how bold it is and you can choose the size. We'll click on Publish to save the changes so far. If we click on this option to go back, and then we click on Menus on the side, and then click on Create New Menu, we'll give the menu a name and we'll choose where we want it to be shown on the website, for example on the header, on the footer of the website, and we'll choose Next. Choose to add items in, so we'll choose to add the shop page. We'll create a page, a blog page, and click Add. We'll then click on the back arrow to go back. We'll go back again. Then we'll go to the homepage settings. We'll choose to click a static page. We'll set the home page to the shop page. So the shop page will appear here. Against the post page, we'll choose blog that we created before. And then we'll click on Publish to save our changes. And we'll go back. It's possible to change how this top section looks by clicking header on the menu. You have different rows. You have a top row, a middle row, and a bottom row. We're going to focus on the middle row. You can move elements around by dragging like this, and as you can see, the menu goes to the center. You can add new elements in by clicking the plus, and you could, for example, choose search, and then you could, for example, choose cart, and you can rearrange them again by dragging and dropping. To edit the logo, you can click on the cog here, and you can choose to select a logo and upload it. You can choose to just, for example, have a title if you don't upload a logo, and you can change the site title there. You can go on the design tab to change the color and font of it. On the primary navigation, click on the cog. You can select a menu. You can change the color and the general design of it by going on this tab here. You can go over to the cart. For example, you could change the cart, and then you could go to the design and change the design of it if you want. You can go over to search, and you could change, for example, the search, and you could change the colors that are available. Another thing that you can do is if you go down to the bottom, you can click on mobile and you can change things on here, for example. So you could click on the logo and upload a logo there as well. And by clicking on the logo, you can go to the design tab and you can change how the title color looks and the font and different parts, and you can do the same for the trigger. You can add an option in. For example, you could add the cart in on here and show it if you want, and you can just rearrange them like so. And of course, against the cart, you can change how it looks. You could pick a different cart, and you can also, by clicking on the off canvas, you can change how this looks. So for example, you could have it full width, you could have it side panel, you could do it to the left, you could do it to the right. We'll just leave it like that. And you can change other settings, you can change the design and change colors around. You could also, on the navigation, you could click on the cog and you can change things around there if you want, and you can also add other options in. We'll click on Publish to save the changes, and we'll go back to the menu. If you go to the bottom and you choose desktop again, we'll cover the footer section, so choose footer, and then go down to the bottom of the store and you'll see the footer section again that's got a top row, a middle row and a bottom row, and you can change things around on here. Again, you can move them about. If, for example, you wanted more columns, you can choose more columns and change different settings. I'm just going to keep this simple, and I'm just going to take this option out to show the copyright being changed, as you can see, and you can choose to align different parts if you want. That's a quick run through of the footer. Choose to publish to save your changes, and then go back and go back again, and we'll cover the WooCommerce settings finally. So click on WooCommerce, then go to product catalog. And as you can see, we're on the shop page. If you don't like this section here, you can choose to turn it off by using this option here. And as you can see, it disappears. You can also change other settings in here. So for example, you could have the content unboxed, or you could have it boxed. You can change how it is when you hover over this. So for example, you could have an option to zoom in. So when you click on it, it zooms in. I'm just going to leave that as none. You can have a button action style. So currently it's slide up, but you could say it's always visible. And there's an option there. You could choose, for example, to have a button, and then you can change other options below. So you can change this around. So you could say, for example, you only want 3 products per row, and you can change it to look like that. And you can do the same for the number of rows per page. If you want to change these button colors, you can always come back out of this product catalog part and go back to colors and fonts and then buttons. And then for example, you could change this to being black. I think it looks a little bit better there. And then when you're happy with your changes, click publish, and that's the changes done and live on the website. And that's the customizer covered very, very quickly. And finally, just click in the X in the top left, and it'll return you back into WordPress. We'll now cover some additional extras that you can do for taking the site live. So throughout this tutorial, we've been doing a couple of orders and a couple have gone to payment. So what you can do is you can make sure you're logged into WordPress and you've got WooCommerce installed. Hover over WooCommerce, then click on orders. And then this most recent order, I can click on it and you can change things around. So say for example, you needed to update the billing or shipping information. You can do that in here and you can just choose to update. So say for example there's been an error and the customer lets us know. You can also choose to pick different statuses, so you could say that the order's on hold or the order's cancelled, or you could issue a refund. If you're happy that the order's completed, you can choose complete and you can choose update. Other things that you can do is use these order actions to send order details out to a customer or resend a new order notification. You can also, below, you can add order notes by clicking in there and adding a note, and you can choose whether it's private or not, so you can keep track of where a particular order is. When you're happy, click on update and the changes will be saved. One thing you'll also want to do before you take your store live is go to the WooCommerce payment. So make sure you're logged into WordPress and you've got WooCommerce installed, and then click on settings at the side under WooCommerce, then go to payments, and then next to Stripe, click on manage, and then click on settings, and then where it says test mode here, choose to untick it, and then when you click save changes at the bottom, the site will now take live payments, actual payments. Another thing to do is to make sure you're logged into WordPress, go to WooCommerce and then settings underneath that. And then you've got the option of site visibility. And what you can do is choose to make the site live by ticking this option and then saving your changes. And as you'll see up the top there, the site's gone live, and any message that you've seen at the bottom that says the store's coming soon will no longer be there, and the site can be accessed like so. So we've come to the end of the tutorial. You should now know how to create an online store in WordPress and WooCommerce. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe for future videos that are coming. And finally, thank you for watching the video.